Hello, guys. Can you hear me? Is my sound good? We can hear you just fine. Thank you, Anuxa. Good evening, all. How are you all doing tonight? Good evening. Sup? Oh my god. Another one. Stan, thank you very much for the 5. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate all your support, guys. What up? So we finally got a patch out today, as you have noticed. Finally got a solid patch again with a lot of important fixes. I'm sure you have gone through the patch note already. And I see quite a few of you guys are already running into the fab sewers, which is awesome to see. Obviously, the sewers in the cities are meant to be low tier, very noob friendly first introduction to dungeons. But of course, it's always exciting to explore, right? So see even the hardcore pros, veterans flooding the sewer. So that's fun to see. I noticed a big fight as well not too long ago down there. Looked pretty epic. So I see the havens are running. I'm trying to figure out if it's a specific haven that are having issues or what's going on. I heard just a few ones mention haven issues, but I saw someone playing on haven and I see all havens are running, so I'm not sure yet. Trying to figure out if there's one of them or anything else going on. Bill Bounty, thank you for the subscription. 9 months in a row. That is impressive. Thank you very much. Anyways, 5 balance series much bigger than the Ethereum series. What is the law behind it, and how well does it align with video vision? So again, it's meant to be one of those introduction dungeons without too much difficulties. And yeah, they vary in size and format a little bit, but in general they're quite equal in terms of balance and value, and that is the purpose for the new player dungeon locations. Next one we are getting the more Kerr sewers, which also gonna have a small variation due to its cross the side of the world, and obviously it's the Kerrite sewer systems that you're gonna see there. So we're getting some more of those spread out. But yeah, it shouldn't be much larger. It should be in a quite close size range, just in a little bit different format. That is. Thank you, Henrik, for continuing to develop this amazing game. These fixes are huge, and the sewers are long overdue. My mages are excited to start domination now. We just need to fix the audio bug with scribing spells. Audio bug with the scribing, say? Yeah. Obviously, we're gonna cover quite a few more bugs. Don't you worry. That is still very much huge focus. But yeah, we've gone quite far throughout the polish focus sessions. As we said before, we know that it's not the most exciting content because the focus is polish and bug fixing. But I think, we all agree it's gonna be a more pleasant gaming experience overall moving forward with these fixes. Heavy armor boost to mid-tier gem drops isn't in this patch. Yeah, we haven't covered animal gear yet. As I mentioned before, we're working on certain requirements there before we can start going into mounts and pet gear, as we are still looking into additional animators that will help us go in those areas sooner rather than later. And we're talking to a few people and also a company, and maybe we can find a suitable solution there and move forward in that category as well faster. Ranger boy, well done on the patch. The game just got a lot better in many ways. Thank you very much. Yeah, I think the team are doing an amazing job, working very hard in just, polishing and then going through what's needed to get us there. So thank you for noticing so far. Any plans for Medusa to get sewers, something like that? Yeah, we're looking over all suitable location where there should be. So when a new player arrives, we think it is good that there's a nearby, quite safe, low-end dungeon to introduce them to some of that without crossing the world. So obviously that's a good reason for the sewers, right? So, and as you've seen in the Meduli docks, there are some sewers visible there, so we may add something like that as well. We are going through where it fits and makes sense and where we can add them. And if not a sewer, maybe something different but has a similar value to a new player as a sewer. We are aware of some of the spawn issues in the Fab sewer, yes, and we are looking to tweak that as soon as we can. Maybe tomorrow. Vila damage bonus. There be a roadmap or more detail on the future plans? Yes. So I've been working very hard on finalizing the last big things. Also, actually, I've had to prioritize some game design in very specific areas that are taking quite a bit of time from my table, and also Sebastian's table. So we have actually just recently pretty much covered the last question mark we had when it comes to specific TC and sieging rules. So I'm very happy and excited to have that pretty much under control now. So along when we are working with that, I also plan to do a streaming session when we go through those huge features. There's some cool stuff that we want to talk about. So you also get the picture of what are the main changes from the first TC to what we're offering this time around. I think it's going to be an awesome upgrade and improvement in many ways, and also again promote meaningful, interesting player interactions in different forms. But yes, so roadmap. So I think it's one if we are lucky. If not, it's 2 more meetings that I need to have with Sebastian to kind of finalize some of the orders of some of the things. It's quite the complex setup for the whole team, but I think we are very close now. So 1 or 2 more meetings that should give us all the ordering in a very solid place. Obviously, this may change a little bit over time, but I think that is enough for us to post upcoming blocks of roadmap in what order you can expect to see some of those huge features and functions to the game. And that is also moving us obviously to the Epic Game release, to the TC sieging patch, which are very huge contents. So yeah, hopefully, again, I can't say exactly when, but tomorrow we have one of that meeting. If that goes extremely effective, then maybe I will be able to put together that kind of roadmap for next week sometime, or the next one again. So that is what I'm hoping for, at least. And yeah, we actually have done some very interesting progression in terms of, again, backend server capacity and information. So what I would like to do the next week on Thursday stream is, if you guys are up for us, up to help us with a very specific thing, I would like to run a stream with Sebastian. Hopefully he can be part of the stream, or he will just simply be working with me on the stream. So what we want to do is we want to gather about 400 of you again somewhere. We could pick outside Medul again, as we did last week. And we're gonna be present and do specific runs on the server while that happens, because there's a certain area where we want to pinpoint a specific load. So, and I know that that is much to ask of, so, and but we would like to have your help to bring hopefully around 400 players again on this location. So first we just need to move there. Hopefully it will be somewhat civil initially. So we are ready to enable specific profiling tools on the server, because we are dead serious and determined to make sure that huge, large, epic battles never seen before in an MMO like this will be possible and stable on the server side for our upcoming TC sieges. So obviously we want to make sure that is solid. And the best way to make sure that this really works, not just scaling it up and doing butt tests that we have done, we need to have a real case. So, and that's also always a challenge when you're a small indie company, to push that button and make that happen. But I hope with your help, we'll make that announcement and we can gather up somewhere outside of Medulli, somewhere that is suitable. And when we say go, you can also fight to the death, because we want to mimic the same situation, a very similar situation as we had last week, because that was golden value for us. And if we can do that one more time with me and Sebastian present on the servers doing the profiling tools, we are, that will help us tremendously to make sure that we can cover such large scale fights on our server side. Obviously that pushes, with those crazy numbers, it pushes a lot more towards the client requirements. Obviously having all those characters on the screen, magic going left and right, all of that. Obviously the client are starting to struggle as well. So obviously there's always a bottleneck. It just, the question is where, and we want to make sure that bottleneck is not when those numbers are fighting. That's important for us to solve. So I hope you guys have the opportunity next Thursday around this time to gather up. Obviously come at your own risk and just bring whatever you can afford to lose. So if you don't want to lose anything, you can go there naked even. We just participating, going there will be helpful. Agmir, good evening. So yeah, hopefully we can make that happen, and that will help us solve what we identified in the last big fight, where attack packages were queuing up and making it unplayable due to, obviously, if you can't see someone swinging, and action packages are being queued, that's obviously a bad experience. So we want to make sure we solve that. Was AFK we're meet up next week? Yeah, so again, we need to pick a location. We could have the same location as last time, so we have the same calculations outside of Medulli, and we try to recreate that chaos that we had then, and that will be golden value for us, so we can be prepared for future TC sieges within a similar size scale. Put a siege weapon in. We're not finished with the siege weapons yet. We are fully redesigning the siege weapons from our first game, and yeah, I'm gonna show you those in one of my streams. And not just, they are insane. So we actually have been working with an engineer that builds mechanics and machines to make them actually you know, somewhat believable and true when it comes to mechanics. So they're not just put together in a wrong, stupid way. And they're quite complicated and they look awesome. So I'm looking forward to showing that as well. I think you're gonna love what we have done so far. But we need more time until that mechanic is fully finished and supported code-wise. So sorry we can't add that during these upcoming sessions. When are we going to be able to change our tattoos? I'm not sure exactly when that will be. We have a very certain high prioritized order of features and content first, and then we have a huge list in which, you know, stuff like more tattoos, hairstyles, beard, etc. will also be added, because we're tying those to our profession. So you will be able to discover and learn rare to almost unique types, and some of them will also be required to have a certain standings within those nations that may learn those types as well. So it will actually be a player or profession type that the rest are bound to. You can't ride any other pets yet, as you know. We will soon be able to toggle more and more creatures to be mountable, and we will have the Lycator and the Mulva Beast as well eventually. Like I said, we are making some progress now when it comes to talking to animators, and hopefully we will find a way to get that effectively working soon, and that means we will get that kind of content sooner. Yeah, the Lycators and Mulva Beast are coming back. So those will be two very distinctive mounts that brings additional bonuses next to horses. So Lycators are more agile and have some natural armor, steeper sloping climbing slopes, and they also regen their hit points a little bit over time. So, and obviously the Mulva are huge strong beasts, can carry a ton and are very strong as well. So yeah, they will be coming. So yeah, we will make an announcement soon when it comes to the next week's streaming event, and maybe I can bring in Sebastian if he's not going to be too busy and stressed running the server things. Maybe I can pull him in for a moment as well in the stream, so you guys can say hello to him. We will see if that's possible. I don't want to force him if he's too stressed, obviously, sitting with the backend stuff while we hopefully do a successful event and do our absolutely best in trying to kill the node performance again by being too many there fighting in one location. That is the goal, at least. It's now we want it to happen when we have the profile editing tools enabled, and Sebastian will be sitting here to gather that information at first hand in real time. It's going to be a huge difference. So we can hopefully solve that bottleneck and then allow for future large-scale sieges. There'll be some faster pets than horses. Horses are meant to be the casual, fastest, easy transportation route. So I don't think anything specifically is faster than horses. Lycators have more stamina, but are usually slightly below speed-wise, but they have more stamina pretty much. And obviously the Mulva Beasts are not competing in those speeds. Obviously you will also be able to eventually mount all the creatures that are suitable, such as wolves, cats, if you are a small light clay that you don't affect it negatively. So obviously those will also be possible to be very fast. With fixed domination, any plans to fix pathing for pets around houses and strongholds in the near future? Yes, that is part of a very important fix in our upcoming patches. So we have a few things for pets and AI that we obviously know are a struggle for you guys. And pets in general following you all over the world. We are fully aware of the picture there. So we are building a system that will pretty much 100% make that more convenient. So all your pets will be able to pretty much lock to you as the owner and follow you throughout the whole world, including over water. So you don't have to fill around with, moving over rivers, etc. with pets. So that's a big quality of life, obviously, to have your pets safely following you around the world. The next part is Namesh in houses, and also tightening up the Namesh, dynamic Namesh around houses. We know exactly why pets behaves very badly around a house, and it's invisible for you to see why that is. But if we enable the Namesh, we see how the polygons split up in a very bad way, and makes like huge blocks where the AI can't walk. They can't navigate without the Namesh. So we're gonna tighten that up so they walk around houses as you would expect. And we're adding the Namesh system inside houses, so you can also pull them in and out from the house without struggling with that as well. So yeah, huge quality of life and polishing when it comes to AI pets following and moving around in the world. So that should hopefully finally bring pets annoyances at an end and have them in a good state. Yeah, the pets in this state, when you're close to them and have them follow you, they will stick to you very accurate. So yeah, they will speed up to follow you correctly, and you will also be able to pull them over rivers, etc. I'm not sure exactly when these steps that I just mentioned coming in. That's part of the meeting I have with Sebastian tomorrow, to try to plan in what order, because there's so many things that ties together. So it's like a puzzle to build the upcoming roadmaps, and also depending on the team. So like, we are a slowly growing team, and everyone is working on quite different areas. So we need to connect every pieces and dots together in a effective way. That's one of the challenge when it comes to planning ahead and making sure we have a proper plan for every single patch moving forward. So, but yeah, my plan is to have that roadmap posted on the website as soon as we can, as soon as I have finalized these steps with Sebastian. I have one of those meetings tomorrow. I'm not sure if we're gonna finish tomorrow, but maybe. And then we may have one more meeting to finalize it. And then I will try to put together a roadmap and post it on the website. And then you will see all these important things that we have been talking about and that you have been waiting for, in what order we are planning them to go into the game. There won't be any dates on them, but you will see that, okay, so this one goes after this one, for instance. How's it going, Temujin? It's going well. Yeah, so part of that roadmap, you will also have house transferring and deconstructions. So you'll be able to trade a house, sell it with a trade a build option, and you will also have the option to demolish your house or deconstruct it if you're, not happy with the location, or if you want to construct something different. The permanent ritual tables will come along with the in-house Namish system that I mentioned. So both specific function will use it in houses, but also pets and AI will use that system. Buff mages when? They will be widened along with upcoming magic schools. Elementalism is next, as you know. Henrik, sorry for your loss, brother. Yeah, thank you. Very sad news. Obviously, yeah, that we posted. We lost our long friend and GM. So yeah, that was very unfortunate to hear that. Can you explain damage calculation for mounted combat? So that is heavily momentum based. It's pretty much all about your momentum and timing that hit. So the more speed, time with your hits, the more damage you can deal. What I hate mages on the east side of the map. We don't hate mages and we don't hate a specific side of the map. So as you know, every patch we're adding now, we're adding hotspots, points of interest, spawners, loot, dungeons, in all biomes areas of the whole map. And again, the team is working on certain areas and moving forward. So over time, you will see the whole map being quite more populated with all of this type of content. Because that's also something we want, obviously, to be able to interest players to choose the different locations and spread them as much as possible, because that's also good for our node system setup. Did you try Dog test? I love to see dungeons like that in M2. No, I've not tried it. I saw some people streaming it, which I usually try to do on all types of games releasing that are looking to be interesting, since I do lack game time myself. So that's a good way to do it. We get a lot of criticism, valid ones in many times, that we have very poor animation and lights, etc. But again, comparing Mortal to that game, I think our animation is superior, and also the lighting in the dungeons are much more realistic and natural. But yeah, that's just obviously visible things. I can't say anything more about the game because I know too little, pretty much. But yeah, looks like a cool battle rights fantasy version of those types of game. And there are some things that are coming to Mortal as well that you already see in that game, such as some of the potion effects. We have a shit ton of effects coming in over time. And there are actually some in that game that we will have soon as well in Mortal Alchemy. yeah, having crowd control paralyzing states can be very dangerous in a game like this. so that is why the reason we didn't take the paralyze spells from Ultima Line and brought them straight over. It has such a huge impact on the balance, and also since you can see much further, obviously playing in first person changed a lot from the game, such as top-down view in Ultima Line, where you're more limited to obviously how far you can see, right? So everything gets affected very heavily balance-wise with everything that has crowd control and how far you can see and adapt to the different situations. So we try to be very careful about when it comes to that type of balance. But like I said, there are quite a lot more options coming that we think fits very perfect in this type of game, with tons of interesting options for going different styles. I think that is the key over time as well. Bullshit, why did Fab get a 0 before MK? Because of the team's working environment setup. Like I said, that's a puzzle to go through all those different pipelines, and that's also pipelines we have improved heavily with the transition to Unreal 5, and we have taken those steps now finally fully with all the systems that we use that allows us to much more efficient and quickly, for instance, deploy hotfixes if needed. That was pure hell in our old system, and obviously that's not suitable in the long run, right? So we have a much more effective, safer system in place now that allows us to more quickly, effectively patch something if needed, and also how we can work as a team. Because imagine, if you're working something and someone else is working on the same thing, someone is saving, crashing, whatever, there can become conflicts in the working environments. So all that is super important that we have on a top tier level when it comes to working now and in the future. And we have all that in place now moving forward. That will just improve everything when it comes to production, delivering of patches, and solid patches, tested patches as well. So yeah, that's seems one of those things that, okay, do we want to go to the other side of the world and release some things and struggle with some of the software setup we've had, or shall we just quickly move on to the next one? And we picked that one for now. But you will see more spread out content in upcoming patches now. Sorry, I'm falling behind. I'm gonna jump down, so if I miss a question or anything important, bear with me. Right now we can't support clade changes in the game. So yeah, if you're dead set to change clade race, you need to reroll at this point. We have been discussing, I've been discussing with Matt's lore-wise game function type, just to see if it fits and work with both lore, design, and functions, and the balance we want to have also. And there may be a suitable room for allow a clade race change with a very certain setup of a process. Nothing you just quickly go back and forth between different clades and races, but actually invest. For instance, if you have invested a long time and you really think that you would like to play another clade race, then maybe there's an opportunity to make that happen. But we can't do it right now. but we have discussed it and see that it may fit and we may be able to support it. But it will take a while until we actually go into the design phase to make it happen if we decide to. That's the reason we changed the handles of the source. So we noticed the collision at how it is following the meshes on your handles, on your weapons, made it that also, along with the animation we use, we saw that you get handle hits in a way where naturally in real life you wouldn't, depending on how you swing at someone. So that became an annoyance. And obviously when you feel that, how the hell would that be a handle hit? No way. And it becomes a handle hit. That's an annoyance. So we solved that part, so it works for all those handles that will or shouldn't really give a handle hit based on how you stand and how the animation works. So instead, those handles now will actually perform better and a little bit more forgiving to allow you to perform. Because in real life you would obviously adjust everything in real time, every millisecond when you move and swing. You can't do that the same way in a game like this, because the animation are like presets of how you swing. You can only move around next to that. So it was a natural improvement to make sure that those handles won't give handle hits and bring annoyance to the game. So it's not specifically to obviously buff swords, because they don't need a buff, but to those handles that simply weren't used because they were breaking your swings. Now you can choose all of those handles finally, so we get more use of the content we have spent a lot of hard work in adding as options, and now they're viable options. So I hope that makes sense. It's nothing about buffing swords. Chestbox when. So we have an important function that are coming along with our upcoming patches, which is owners will be able to set ranks, access, and different passwords on the chests, which obviously means you have the control of security. You have proper tools to handle security in your own way. Hope that makes sense. Honestly, the game needs more PvE. I say this as mainly PvP player, but there's just not enough poise to create altercation. The dungeons are so barren, you need to increase the amount of mobs, remove the needs of tedious skill games that just make it able, and then do a relaunch. So Brain Dance, I don't know if you noticed, but in every single patch, this is exactly what we're adding. We're working very hard on the AI to make it 100 times better than Immortal 1. To make sure we have the most interesting, challenging types of AI in any MMO. And we spend a lot of resources into making sure that we're going to have awesome PvE encounters in the game. So every patch, including this one, we add a bunch of points of interest with mobs, different types of loot from rare to common. And yeah, obviously we also added the sewer dungeon in this patch, and there will be more in every single patch moving forward. So we're already doing that. in every patch. And it's also one of the part of the, like I mentioned before, pathing AI polish to improve them overall as well. By adding another dungeon at north, we're adding them from east to west as well. Is, you know, all the direction we're adding more dungeons. It's just that how the team, I explained that before, how the team is working with our systems. Sometimes it's easier to cover an area before moving on to the next one, before, you know, jumping all over randomly. This is also an area we have tried to improve to make more efficient and give us better ways and tools to actually pinpoint exactly what we want when we want, rather than having to go through quite a few until we reach all the areas. But yeah, you will see more dungeons all over the world, from east, west, south, north, all the directions. Hakobo, if you find any artificial or art hole, something that is broken, please report it in the game, and that will go to the developers so they can fix it in upcoming patches. They killed a huge list in this patch, and if anything you may find in this patch, please report it, and that will be fixed most likely in the next patch or the next one again. Skylight Flux, is that ever going to be found? We, like I said, we're going slowly forward when it comes to adding and adjusting the rarities and drops of everything tied to trinkets, to make sure that the ones that are supposed to be rare are rare, and we may be bumping some of the mid spectrum to make sure they are a little bit more common. I think it's better to take it slowly rather than, you know, make it wrong too quickly and then, you know, go back again, which would be annoying. Durham cities have sewers? Yes. Yes. So with TC you will have full function over your NPC services, such as priest. You will be able to set the rules if you should only resurrect your guild member, for instance, or resurrect anyone that are present. Is there any way you can nerf the ping of AU players? That's exactly what the ping normalization system is doing. So even though you have 5 MS to the server, you're not playing with 5 MS. You're actually playing on a much higher, around 150 MS, which is a mid-range for, you know, many locations in the world, also outside of Europe. And now I'm falling way behind again, I see. Sorry about that, guys. I'm gonna try to speed up and jump down a little bit. Let's see. When will Rise and Pet stop killing horses? Your Rise and Pet should not kill your horse. If that happens, then it's a bug and we need to look into that for sure. Buy orders, does it even work? Yes. Buy orders are in the broker. Also, Unreal 5 progression coming along. So when do we get new music? Unreal 5 is progressing every day. Like I said, it is a huge project. There's so many different things. It's not just to update the engine, the engine itself. It's actually to make sure that our game get up to date on both client and the network side. So the coders have been crunching through all of that for quite a while now, and then we actually got to a point where all that is finished. We have it's done, it's working, but what we have left to do is clean up specific things that aren't working as intended or are glitchy or different things like that. So and similar things on the art side, obviously, when it comes to converting the world, the terrains, and we are going through the whole lighting system. We want to make sure that the world have a natural, realistic, amazing looking light and shadow system. And then we want to try to pinpoint a little bit that little touch that makes Mortal Online look like Mortal Online, that little grittiness filter that we had since day one in Mortal 1. So we are, playing around with that filtering as well. So yeah, soon, hopefully, I will be able to show stuff when it comes to Mortal Online in Unreal Engine 5. I plan to do some streams regarding that and also showcasing our upcoming weather system. So we will see when we will be able to plan that, but that's the plan currently. Music, I don't know exactly when. We plan to add more eventually, but it's also the thing. We can't just hire anyone to produce the music. We are very careful of making sure that it fits, it's thought through, and everything have a lot of thought and planning and design before we add it, including music. So we work pretty hard, and we're very happy to get the music we have produced so far. And we want to make sure it follows the same path when we expand on it as well. Verify Epic Games, boats, VR, etc. Thoughts? What do you mean? We're getting all of that, yes, over time. When game goes sub-based, I can't say for sure. It's still too early. Like we mentioned, we need obviously a monetization model, a business model to cover our expenses, salaries, GM support, running the servers, hosting the servers. Obviously, that is important. And of course, to make sure we can continue adding exciting content frequently every month. So it's, worth playing the game and hopefully worth supporting that to continue happening by covering a subscription fee. So we have set up very distinctive milestones, as you know by now, when it comes to the overall polish, bug fixing, Unreal Engine 5, we have TC in housing on all those different features in a certain order. And that's also when we believe that now we have all those things that obviously also the community have been asking for and want to have in the game before it feels like it's acceptable to continue supporting it with a subscription as well. So when we get closer to those milestones, that's also when we will evaluate and see if it's ready to announce what date that may be, but it's still a little bit too early. If you create a pet in a house, it always gets stuck. Yeah, that is due to we lack the Nave system in houses. And that's part of our upcoming patches. You will see it in the roadmap soon. It's one of the important fixes for pets. Going to show some gameplay of the new dungeon. I'm new to the game. Actually, I don't own the game. I didn't plan to do a specific game session, but we can see. We can see if we want to do a little quick run. I'm gonna do a giveaway. Maybe I can start that just in a minute. And you can have a shot for getting a key. Actually, last key went to a new player that didn't own it, that had been lurking for a while, and he's been playing non-stop since. So awesome to see. So one very important thing also along with the Epic release is our nation and standing task system. They kind of tie together. There's gonna be a huge update to that system to make it really robust, and that's also obviously connecting to the criminal states. So maybe that also deserves a streaming session even to cover that as we go through that design as well. So there will be more on that for sure. Yes, mounted combat is fixed finally. Why Richard pet doesn't level up when you're far away compared to pets? Yeah, they should follow the same logic, so it's just a miss in the code, and we'll probably update it in maybe the next patch. Any TCC weapon sneak peeks? Not yet, not yet. We have some really cool concept picture. Maybe I'm gonna show you that as well when I do a Siege streaming session where I want to show you from start of brainstorming the mechanics, because again, we don't want to just create a Siege machine and it just looks like that and it just works and you don't know, the mechanics behind it. And that's a little bit interesting because we always try to do believable things in our game where it makes sense and fits. And we, like I said, we actually work with an engineer that build similar types of machineries that help us with the mechanics to see how does it make sense with the gears and chains and ropes, how will it work. And it makes it very interesting and cool, and we bind that to the gameplay moment as well in an interesting way. So yeah, maybe I can bring up one of those early concepts where this engineering were kind of making a blueprint. This is mechanical, how it could work, and it has sense and is, design wise, which is pretty cool to see. That was the dream for him. He just said, shit, I want to work with you guys and build machines. It's super fun. So it was pretty cool to see that. So maybe I can bring one of those early concepts as well from that kind of brainstorm to the final product and then sitting there and using it. Will Unreal 5 better cloud weathered from day one? Yeah, so we have the world's, without bragging here, the world's most advanced weather system ever in a game. It's based on real life rules with hot, cool temperatures, clouds meeting, creating humid biomes, temperatures, creating fog, rain, snow, all of that. It's just that all of that happens in the background on the servers being sent to the clients, but you only see a fraction. It's sunny all the time, some clouds sometime, and it rains sometime, snow sometime. It's not synchronized, and it's not presented in a very exciting way. So it's going to be synchronized and it's going to be presented in a most insane way utilizing Unreal 5. So that's going to be really awesome, and it's going to bring a whole new depth of atmosphere to the game world. And I can't wait to show you this system. So yes, it will look insane, and it will also be a very sophisticated real life based weather system. And not only that, as an elementalist master, you will be able to control that weather. How freaking awesome is that, guys? But the remake of the Britain Town music, eh? Yeah, the nostalgic of those tunes from Ultima Line was pretty cool. But hopefully we are setting our own nostalgic, even from the 10-year-old music that we do have today, coming from Ultima 1. You know, we got a lot of positive feedback from for our music since day one, and yeah, I like it. You get an option to see my shoulder pads again. Kind of destroys my immersion. Maybe we can get a toggle for that. Now we simply wanted to make sure that people can use the gear, right? And not just having a huge polygon in front of your screen and you can't see or fight anything. So, and we try to adjust and change the skinning, the animation, adjust the mesh. We just looked down that rabbit hole and said, no, this is not going to work, because this is just on what, 10 armor pieces. Imagine 50 over time. It's not going to work. So we made a new function that allows to hide the shoulder pads in first person, and bam, it's solved. So yeah, maybe we can add a toggle for it. So if you want to obscure your view, sure, we can toggle that. I think that is doable. I would like to see talent-specific music like in UO, and we do have that. We actually have every biome in the world have a specific list of songs. So that is why you hear the same type of songs looping in one area. So if you travel the world, you're going to hear different types of songs from our Mortal library. So it's actually a similar system as it was in Ultima Line. It's just not one song. For instance, you know the specific song we have in the Tinrem capital. There's a unique song for that area. It's actually exists in two versions, one with the voice and one without it. Do you hear the music background that I hear now from the game actually? Or is it only me hearing it? Do you hear it? This song is lovely. Holy shit, you already started with a MO. I see. One moment before I start it. And we will go at it. Yeah, I'm slow, guys. Sorry. Bear with me. Like I said, I'm a noob streamer. But slowly getting the hang of it. You don't hear the... Yeah, you hear it. Yeah. All right. Let's start the ammo giveaway then. Exclamation mark ammo 2. And I will let that run for a while before we hit it. So if you already signed up a moment ago, sign up again because I just started it. Why not increase stamina penalty for heavy armor? So this is a tricky one. So we have both stamina and speed penalty the higher you go. So you can make an armor that is crazy heavy, which obviously have crazy penalties, right? And that's a dynamic linear progression. So it's actually up to the players, and it's the players that have decided the meta for all the armors, which is I tolerate this little stamina penalty but no more. I tolerate none speed penalty or little or no more. And that's the crafter's decision and the players. You can go higher, you can make better defense, but then you'll also obviously have higher penalty. Tebek, that's a code issue and will most likely be updated in an upcoming patch when it comes to pets leveling and ritual leveling. They should follow the same rule. My neck. If we win, how do we PM you? I'm gonna announce the winner, and then you just send a whisper message here on Twitch, and I confirm. Why is armor weight not tied to move speed? That's exactly what it is. But like I said, there's a threshold, because we all know speed is king. As soon as we set that threshold low, no one will go higher, and everyone's gonna want to say, why can't you allow us to use heavy armors? Please allow us to use heavy armor without being a gimp. So we always gone in this circle over and over and over again. So we made it dynamic, and we found a reasonable range. We know the meta, steel, and heavy weights, and we set that up. And then it's up to the players to go as far as you want and take as much penalty as you want. But that's up to you guys. At first, people thought that the speed difference between a Vila and a rest was too little and barely noticeable. But as you know, the more you play and learn, become a master of the game, and know exactly what kind of speeds and all of that, it gets put in your backbone, and you know how that performs. That's when you start feeling the differences on those small differences, and all of a sudden that is king, right? So again, if we add a speed penalty on heavier armor, you're not going to see it anymore. That's exactly what had happened in the past, and that's how it's going to perform again if we do that. Acceleration, we do actually support an acceleration stat, so that is actually doable and worth investigating. If that's something that should be a little bit more affected early on heavy gear, maybe. But yeah, again, speed is king. So if you're getting a big head start due to acceleration, that's going to have a huge impact. That's just how it works. But yeah, we'll see. Like I said, it's worth investigating if acceleration could be a good tweak. But like I said, we're careful about breaking up a lot of options that a lot of players are using differently today to make, many of those upset or change something, or going back and forth and not really progressing safely, while we have a very specific focus right now, which is still some focus when it comes to polish and bug fixing, and then we have huge features that we all want as soon as we can, and we want to make sure that we don't fill around until we reach those very important milestones. What patch will we expect change visible? I can't say for sure. We have many of those small things that shouldn't take a lot of time from a lot of our developers. But again, they need to still be planned in there between those huge features and focus that we are in. So we will see. Why was the humans buff so small? As I said many times, it's split in two parts. One is a small adjustment on stats because of the power of the stats have been changed, and some of them were lacking that stat pool due to the power of the stats being changed. That happened in this patch, which is exactly what I said, a small bonus tweak. The next patch we are planning to do the clay gifts changes and updates, which obviously have a different type of impact. So that part haven't happened yet. Armor class affecting move speed has worked for PvP balance in almost every game ever implemented. Why try to mix up the formula? No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. We're using 10 years of experience when it comes to speed is king, and it's up to the players. You can go as heavy as you want, but your speed and stamina will be more and more affected naturally. It's a dynamic system, so the players are in control of this. If you're saying that you should have less speed, then you're running into light armor, I guess. I'm not sure when it comes to the havens. I have sent a message that we have got some reports. We do see, I can see that havens are up and I see players are running there, but I can't say if there's any of those that have some issues. So hopefully one of our devs can investigate and make sure. So yeah, they will look at as soon as they can when it comes to if there's haven issue. Just got word, guys. So yeah, there was an update that wasn't finished on all the havens. Sorry about that. Sebastian took care of it, updating it, and it's actually starting up with the right version now. So you should be able to log in a brief moment. So sorry about that, but great, it's getting fixed. So shouldn't be too long until you can log in on Haven. So that's that. What about the giveaway? The giveaway will be happening soon. Explanation mark MO2. If you just tune in, you will have a shot at Mortal Copy. Do you hear where this song is from, guys? Or can you guess? Awesome. Thank you, Henrik. You're a hero. Thank you. Thank you, guys, for obviously reporting it just enough time before Sebastian went to sleep, so we could get it fixed right away. Just unfortunate, light armor don't have reasons to wear them unless you are a mage. Still a good game. Yeah, so yeah, the balance is always a huge struggle in this type of game. Also because the nature of how all the preferences, opinions, most players will never fully agree on all of these different, balance decisions, etc. And just that's also part of the nature. Jack Burton, thank you for the subscription. Hey Henrik, thanks to you and Stavo team. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. But yeah, so obviously we try to gather as much data and feedback as possible, and then we try to see, does it make sense? Does it follow that, people or players are never using this or that for those reasons? That's when we try to go in and tweak or buff those that are never used, so people can get options to use all kind of things and tools and content to add to the game, because that's obviously the reason, right? If we add a lot of different armor and weapon types, we want to make sure that many of those are interesting options and have different styles to offer for the players. So we do try to do sessions when it comes to, okay, we pinpointed these things never being used, for instance, and it's being very clear. Then that's something we try to work on to try to bump in the right direction. We are still also missing a few components that will add a lot of options and value to the game, such as more magic schools that will have more different types of effects when it comes to stats and gear. We have more weapon groups types, and we have special moves that are going to be added to all the weapon groups that also have special abilities to bypass or interact with gear in different ways. Again, just to give interesting, skillful options to players and the different styles. So balance can never really be perfect and finished in a game like this. Same as with content. Mortal 9 will never be finished, because every month, even though we reach our milestones, we're ready with Unreal 5, Epic Games, TC, Sieging, the development doesn't stop. It's gonna continue in the same pace. We're gonna continue to add new features, new content, skills, spells, land, housing in TC, more of that over time. Which always hopefully makes Mortal 9 exciting and interesting to keep playing and following that progression. And yeah, there will always be specific metas. That's also the nature of this game. Some races will always be a little bit more powerful when you do this and that, and you know, that's part of it. And it's impossible to just make it all perfectly balanced, and all of those races and clays and gifts are perfectly balanced. And it's not really something we aim to do, because it's impossible. We try to obviously make sure that we want to see all the weapon group types and clades being used in the game. That's when we're happy, because then people are enjoying the different styles and options that they have to play around with. And we do see a very good spread when it comes to what characters people are playing, which is awesome. But yeah, we obviously see where it's more being used when it comes to weapons, and which ones are being less used. That's where we try or plan to do additional work to improve those areas. Army Monster Race. Yeah, and that's the beauty when there are a lot of people thinking all of their favorite races are the Master Race. What is your favorite guild in Mortal 2, any? Any? I don't know. I'm not sure if I have a favorite one. I know a lot of nice players, really awesome people that are playing our game, and because of they're nice and cool, then obviously their guild also get a reputation, right? It usually goes a little bit hand in hand. But I wouldn't be able to pick a favorite guild. I mean, we have many long-term guilds that have been here from Mortal 1, which is awesome to see that they're still around, and some of them growing. Some of them will be back for TC, for instance. Gonna be awesome to see. But yeah, there's many cool guilds that I enjoy watching as well, and a lot of cool streamers participating in some of those. Laura passed away last month, and this game has been an outlet. Thank you for all that, Henrik. I'm sorry to hear that. I know the pain going through such terrible thing, and only time will heal those wounds. And I'm happy you enjoy Mortal 9 at least. So yeah. Mana, the complete mage guild, it's a cool concept. I like when people get together and create something with a unique style or approach, and it's pretty cool. So Mana, obviously, if I haven't misunderstood, apparently are just a mage focused guild. So imagine how cool that guild will be when we have 10 plus magic schools in the game, where some of them gonna be very rare and difficult to achieve, and obviously mana gonna be quite busy going through that type of content, I bet. And that's cool, I like it. Red Priest, is that a rather new guild? I don't keep track of all guilds, so forgive me if I'm lack of knowledge. It's no disrespect. Man are pretty bad at the game though. Red and Black Priest are better mage only guild when it comes to PvP. That was a little rude, man. But everyone is entitled to their own opinion, right? When it comes to how good people are at the game. I see mana around quite a lot, and I have seen them met up in the game whenever I'm in the game as well, which I think is cool. That shows presence. I don't recall I've seen those other guilds that you referred to, so I can't say anything about that. About the Ashen Ore Guild, not sure about that one either, I'm afraid. Now, I have been extremely busy outside of the game, which obviously make me drop a little bit of the loop, in-game loop with names and such. But every now and then, as you know, I'm watching everyone's stream, lurking in everyone's stream, and it's a nice, relaxed moment for me every now and then to see what's going on in the game for them, those streaming at least, whenever I have the moment. Well, no, it's actually artisans. Artisans, they're mostly the craft or trader guild, right? More heavy in that field than anything else, if I'm not mistaken. Arig. Wolfshite. That's a solid one. That's a solid one. The noble ones greet you, Henrik. Wars from Moki. That is awesome. Man, I have a good reputation. Yeah, I think they do, right? That's at least, that reputation reached me at least. How many copies of Mortal Kombat will be given away? We give away one every stream. So one today and one on the upcoming ones as usual. We know about one spawner in the Fabernum sewers, and we plan to hot fix that as soon as we can. It's quite late here now in Sweden, so our devs need some sleep before we go at it again. But I think the patch is a solid patch. Again, we've had a very good record since the Necro patch, which is on the new setup, and I think that shows, and I'm very happy to see that, and hopefully obviously also you see it. But yeah, one spawner don't have the right numbers. That will be fixed as soon as possible. And a fix for no sounds animation for horse getting shot by bows. Yeah, we are looking into those as well, along with polish and bug fixing. So hopefully a fix for it soon. A few of those things also change in new engine. So again, we need to elaborate, or we need to compare that. If it's already fixed in the new engine update, what does it require for us to fix it in the old engine? And if that surpasses a certain time, it may not be worth because we may we are throwing it out when we move over to Unreal 5 to push live. So that's always something we evaluate. But yeah, obviously we need that fixed. Quite annoying, and it feels also bugged, right? When your horse getting hit and there's no sound indication reaction, rather than you just read it. That shouldn't be like that, obviously. Ruluf, we plan to expand on the hotbar simulator we had in the first game, so you can have 10 setups of different hotbars that you already have, but multiply with 10. So hopefully that should be enough. So it's on the list to do in quality of life. We heard many of you guys have asked for that, and we will make it happen. Pineapple on pizza. I don't like warm pineapples. So no, you don't do that. What have you heard about the Rising Sun Alliance? Not much, I'm afraid. Sleep time over here in Sweden, Henrik. I think it's time soon. We're getting there. If you just tune in, explanation mark Emma2, and I'm gonna run it in 1 minute then. How many points of interest were added? So we have an average of 30 points of interest in every patch, at least. So around those numbers in every patch going forward. And we started that already a few patches ago, so we're getting quite the numbers already, and it's growing every patch. When the server render distance gets adjusted. Right, so we did an important change in this patch, which allows you to see gear and guild earlier. Is that in a patch note, or did that not got in? That's the question. That's a big one, obviously. I have to confirm if that's in this patch and we missed to put that on the patch notes. I guess you guys can keep that in mind when you walk up on great distance and tell me if you have a difference in when you see the players' guild information and gear and such. I'm actually 50-50 if that's in now or not, and if we missed that on the patch notes, which is quite a big one. I complain a lot, but aside from my view, few personal playstyle issues. Great game, Henrik. Good job. Thank you. What do you think about the guilds in Galcor? They're pretty cool to choose that location. You know. Project Polish for the win. Good work, Henrik. Thank you very much. When Siege preview? I can't say when. So, like I said earlier in the stream, hopefully soon we will be able to have the roadmap updated so you can get your questions answered in what to expect in what order. And then the closer we get to the Unreal 5 transition, we will also pinpoint dates. But it's too early and too fragile to estimate at this point. Yeah, we plan to add those commands on your pets. And we do plan to add the function to name and color your bags. Yeah, knockdown function is on our list. So that will be on the roadmap. It's a quite important balance function, especially against mounted. So we want that one for sure. Alduin TV, thank you for the subscription. Need Unreal 5, please? We do, and we will have it soon enough. Like I said, we don't have the exact date, or I don't dare to, hint at that just yet. Have you heard of the High Elves? I don't think so. Are they new? I mean, we have a bunch of new guilds showing up, which is awesome. Obviously, there haven't been enough time to spread their awareness and reputation. I guess I could visit Galcor for some fishing soon, but it's a hostile environment, I'm currently eating a barbecue pineapple pizza. I like it at least. I mean, I'm not too fond of the warm pineapple. I'm not sure why. It feels wrong. Isn't Sweden known for weird pizzas like bananas and stuff? Yeah, we do have a lot of crazy pizzas. We have everything on our pizza. You even have fries on them, mussels, shrimps, bananas, peanuts, egg. We have everything on pizzas. All kind of meats. Kebab. Cows. Horse. Elks. Everything. Why isn't shitbully pizza a thing yet? That's a good question. I actually ate a pizza that had close to small shitbullar. So kinda a thing already. But not the classic bigger sized meatballs. But I got a pizza that had them small ones. So yeah, kinda have them. Why am I hitting for less now as a human? No, I don't know why that would be, because there's no function that have changed that make you hit less as a human. You need to check your stats, gear, damage bonus, all of that, just to make sure if you changed anything or something changed, you got overweight or skinnier or bad weapon or whatever it may be. There's a lot of things to go through. But no, humans haven't got on any nerf like that. They actually got a buff in terms of a little bit more stats pool depending on which one you are. You haven't heard anything about the Rising Sun Alliance, the largest anti-RPG alliance in game? No, I have not. When did that alliance form? I'm sure I recognize the guilds in it though. But yeah. Not in the patch note, yeah. I have to confirm that. It's in the patch and patch notes. So it is. Let me take a quick look. I thought so, right? Or is it? I can't see it. Are you sure? Domination attack bug confirmed. I don't know what that is. No, giveaway is happening in 1 minute. I've just been a little distracted. There's still time to tap in. Love pineapple on pizza. You do, eh? You do. I mean, it's not awful, but it's something with the warm pineapple. I prefer them cold. So obviously, it's okay, but not my choice on a pizza. Snooze, eh? Snooze. Chocolate pizza. No, I don't think so, eh? Hot dog pizza. Not sure, I'm not sure. I'm scrolling down, guys. Shall we pull the giveaway then before it gets too late? Explanation mark Emma2, and I will roll it. Let's see. Tippity. Are we ready, guys? Are we ready for the roll? Are we ready? I hate when I accidentally bump my speed acceleration boost. Shit, we got a lot of people typing it in as we speak. Henrik, someone told me you only have one lung. It's almost true. I have 1.5. So yeah, a little less lung capacity. The good thing was I had what was it, around 130% on my initial test before doing that surgery, which was way beyond normal range, which was awesome. And yeah, then they cut like half of my one lung, and I recovered pretty well since then, and worked out to allow it to expand and get better and better. So I'm not really missing anything other than obviously when I'm doing heavy sports, I get exhausted a little bit faster. It sounds like I'm running the marathon when I'm just been playing something for a few minutes, if you know what I mean. The one lung hero we don't deserve, but we need. Indeed. I'm actually a killer at swimming underwater as well. I think that helped me a lot to train my lungs. There's no living friend of mine that beats me swimming underwater in a specific length. Even now, with less lung, which is nuts. That shouldn't be the case, right? But yeah, I guess, you know, you better adapt, and you can always train to improve things. Kungen TV showcase Model 2 on his stream right now if you wanna tune in. Kungen, I recognize Kungen. You play now, eh? I don't see Kungen streaming. Alright, let's do the giveaway then, guys. Tetsuya is also killed in the water. I mean, he's from Australia, so they should be living in the water, right? Alright, exclamation mark Emma 2, final chance, and I will roll it in a few seconds. The swing about 96 or so. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Pretty accurate. I was Grandmaster, but now, yeah, somewhere around that. I can hold my breath for around 3 minutes, which is pretty good. Close to 3 minutes, I think. So it tells my lung is pretty good, even though I'm missing a big chunk, which is pretty amazing. G5 is from Australia. Yeah, I meant Australia. What did I say? Did I say something else? Ah, Tetsuya is Myanmar. J45K is from Australia. Yeah. Alright, it's time, guys. Here goes. Let me start the giveaway. Alright. Good luck. Everyone is under the WoW section on Twitch, but viewing Mortal 2 videos and talking about the game. WoW section, come on, man, come on. I see. Alright, I'm doing the giveaway now, guys. Here goes. It's time. Who will it be? Who will it be? Congratulations, Vogelhaufen. Is it German? Vogelhaufen. Congratulations. You won yourself a Vogelhaufen key. Vogel or Vogel? How do you pronounce it? With an F or V? Vogel. Vogel. Vogelhaufen. Normal with an F, I think so, yes. Vogelhaufen. Rigged. It's always rigged. Every single giveaway. Alright, Vogelhaufen. Are you a new player, veteran, or Mortal 1 veteran? Shenanigans. I need to know. While I grab you the key. Vogelhaufen. Say it like you mean it. Exactly. It's an F. Yeah, I thought so, eh? The German Vogelhaufen. Oh, Morland 2 beta, so you've been around for quite a while, and congratulations once again, and there are your game copy code. Enjoy. Wünsch dir viel Spaß. Was sagst du, Empty Burial? If we have been playing since launch, does that mean we are veterans, or do you need to have been playing since the beta? Good question. I think we clarify that with a few terms. Did we say we need, what was it, like 1500 or 2000 hours in game to be a real vet? And then, of course, we have the indication if it's from Mortal Online 2 or even started from Mortal Online 1. So I guess there are some different different takes on the veteran status. I got 3k hours on 2 accounts. So pretty vetty, I would say. It's not really up there around the 6k from more than one, but I would say you are a veteran when you hit at least 2k hours. I think that deserves veteran status around there, right? Don't you agree? Moderate veteran at that level. $4K is pretty top veteran as well. 12k hours in Model 1 and 3k hours on Model 2. Auto, that's also the veteran title right there. 2k is when you stop being a noob. That may be correct. Let me Will the veteran system indicate that you're a vet? I was played a contact vision. So in the first game we had veteran points that you got every month you were subscribed, and then we added some capes that you could unlock with these points. So you kind of got a little bit of a veteran status wearing those capes eventually, and it was a pretty neat thing. We may want to add something similar. Can you just have a statue of your dog, please? They want a French bulldog statue in the game. I think what happened to roadmap? Can we expect a new one soon, or you gave us from the idea of to make a new one? Yeah, I understand. I mentioned that earlier in the stream when I began with a little update. So tomorrow I have a meeting with Sebastian that is pinpointing the order of the different features that we are planning out for the upcoming months. And we may finish those things in the tomorrow's meeting, or we may need another one. When that's finished, I have enough data to put together the roadmap blocks and finally put them on a website. So depending on tomorrow's meetings, we may be able to have something in the next week. So soon. 8k hours in Model 1. Yeah, that's an effort. 8k in Model 1, and Model 1 was running for 10 years plus 2k already in Model 2. Kind of shows you're more aggressive playing Model 2 already, which of course is awesome. When a pet gets stuck on water or rocks, should we keep riding? No. So currently, GMs can't, teleport pets all over the world. So if you have a pet that are stuck or in location, you should be near your pets to be able to get that service to get it unlocked or whatever that may be. And that's one of the big thing we're fixing on the upcoming patches when it comes to securing the pet following you in proper speed and over everything, including water. So that's going to be a huge quality of life improvement when it comes to pets following. Sebastian HQ. I think Sebastian is about to get some sleep now. It's been a long day. For 2 hours, I'm on to my fourth character. Nave having left Haven since started 2 weeks ago. Sariceras, that is awesome to hear, and it's good that you take your time on Haven. Don't rush through it, and it's good to play around, test whatever clay that you enjoy the most, and then of course the greater adventure starts when you finally go to Milan when you're ready. Let's see. All right. So yeah, let's see. Endgame starts outside Haven. That is true. Is there going to be a holiday event in this game this year? We actually plan to do that, yes. You know, we have Halloween around the corner. And then, of course, we have Christmas. And we are planning to do something nice. Time for Fabsio Run. Isn't that heavily populated with the cool kids, you know? What's Halloween like in Sweden? Yeah, I mean, it's you get the kids ringing on the doors, wanting to have some candy, you know, the tradition. But it's not too much here in Sweden, I think, compared to, I don't know, USA. I think that they go harder on those events, right? But yeah, there's some. I like the colder, darker time of the year, you know, Halloween, Christmas, because, you know, it feels cozy, and it also feels easier to devote a lot of time in front of the computer, if that makes sense. Of course, I like the sun, and the light is needed to be healthy, obviously, so it's important to take the opportunity whenever we do have that here in Sweden, because we have darkness quite a lot here in Sweden compared to many other locations in the world. But yeah, cold weather is indeed equal game time and work time. I agree 100%. The cold and dark time of the year is the best. Yeah, it's like a special feeling, and it also makes it more pleasant, I guess, to game and spend a lot of time in front of the computer somehow. It's not the same thing when it's too hot and bright and sunny days. It feels like you're missing out on valuable light and D vitamins then. Can replace the 8 useless not implemented augment clades. No, you will get full use of them with TC and Epic Game Release. Unfixed increment floor levels in houses, spawn on the floor on priest. That will also be fixed soon enough. It's part of our in-house polish. We have 1.5 kids that visit a street in our town for Halloween. Yeah, that's impressive. Sometime I get the call on the door and there's 3 afraid kids, with these costumes, but not every year, or I missed them. I don't know. So it's not common. I even forgot shit. It's that time of the year and they expect candy, and I'm standing there ashamed, having nothing to give. So yeah. Says Epic release coming before TC. So we have been discussing that a little bit. We haven't fully ironed out and confirmed. So it makes sense to split up a few of those huge things in a patch for many good reasons. Both obviously to have them better control, better focus on them, and also, there's a lot of different interest from the player base. So it makes sense right now to split Unreal 5, the Unreal 5 patch with TC and sieging. All of those are huge, and trying to crank in everything in one patch can be a huge challenge, and it may also risk the quality of the patch, which we all know we need to make sure we have 100% under control. What tall am I? I'm 188 centimeters, so yeah. I don't know how to call that. I guess above average in Sweden a little bit. No 8 subscription yet. We will announce that when we have reached further on that milestones. Please do TC before so that Epic players have something else to stay in the game for. So there's quite a few huge things that everyone will, or many will appreciate. There's quite a bit more than just TC, Siege, and Epic Game, and you will see those in the roadmap very soon. There's some good stuff for many players. But yeah, it's wiser for us to split them up a little bit, but they will be quite close because those are the big milestones that we have and will be working for quite a bit more before we patch them. It's just that it's wise to separate them a little bit. Can you guys allow for separate chats or more chat customization? Yeah. That's plan also a huge quality of life update on the chat system. So we plan to cover that as well eventually. What even is a centimeter? That's how you do measurement in the normal side of the world. So 1 meter and 88 centimeters. That's how tall I am. And you have to use Google to convert that to your strange measurements, foot, feet, whatever that is. Tell him, Henrik, indeed. Why make it so strange, right? Pounds and foot, feet, and all that. Crazy units. Just keep it normal. You're also 188, eh? Imperial system is a little bit odd indeed. The metrics. .188 is 6'2". I guess. Just be normal. Wait, don't you guys still believe in elves over there? Don't lecture me about being stuck in the past. We have some gnomes and elves on Iceland, you know, but in Sweden not that much. It's almost like driving on the wrong side of the road and put the steering wheel on the wrong side. That's so odd, right? So odd. Driving from Sweden to England, whenever you have to move over to the other side, that's nuts. Tufsa. Tufsa. Grew up with medic and learned standards later. Iceland or living in Sweden. Yeah, there's a little bit more tradition, I think, when it comes to elves and those living in the rocks. Didn't that Eurovision movie showed some of that as well, made awareness in the world with that mega hit song from the Swedish songwriter with Will Ferrell. You know what I'm talking about? Pretty funny movie. When you're growing the beard longer, I actually tuned it down a little bit a few days ago. It was getting a little bit out of control. No, I don't know. It's too short now, eh? Will you all consider switching server location due to increasing server cost caused by energy cost in the UK? No, not really. Not really. So there's some specific parts left that will go into the game droves when it comes to criminal security, standing nations, etc. There will be a huge update to this system along for Epic Game release as well, that will put a little bit more order and consequences to the world that we talked about quite a bit over the months. And also to add a little bit more safety near those high security starting locations and newbie locations. And then eventually also it will go into no man's land where you can't even play some other accounts. And it will be a much more refined task system that allows you to progress to a huge, an insane range when it comes to the different nations. And you will get different bonuses and access that you only will get when you have high standings. And you will also, you know, eventually have at the low standings, some services won't even be accessible. You can't even talk to the bankers or such if you are in a certain range, or not even be allowed, obviously, at the worst range. So there will be more a staircase where we also promote high nation rewards. And I do think TC will drop before Christmas. I can't say for sure. So like I said, tomorrow we have an important meeting when it comes to refining the last order of things to make that puzzle as efficient as possible. And that will allow me to make the roadmaps to put place on the website, so you see the order of what to expect in upcoming months. But yeah, obviously the big question is when we decide to go live with Unreal 5 and on Epic Games Store and TC and Sieging, those are the biggest content, obviously, for our upcoming roadmaps. And we decided that it makes sense and are safest to split them up, so we don't have all of those insanely huge things going in one mega patch. That could bring quite the chaos when it comes to going through balance and you know, making sure everything is stable and solid. So it makes sense to split them up a little bit, but they will be quite close because those are the big ends that we've been working towards. Yeah, this is obviously a true sandbox game with full loot, full PvP, and a lot of players may show up and think, oh, this is a deathmatch game, you know, I just go and kill people and that's it. But obviously the game is much more than that, and we are always meant to have order and you know, consequences and some kind of basic start protection for new players, because after all it is a RPG game as well, with so much more than just fighting and killing and looting, even though obviously that is a big part of the game and a lot of people are excited about that type of experience with the risk and reward and adrenaline rush and all that. So they all fit together, but we need to make sure that we have that fair chance to new players to get into the game, learn the basics, hopefully get a little addicted and interested in playing more, obviously, and then be ready to head out to go into that dangerous risk of, you know, encounter players and other dangerous things and be able to participate in that also. But yeah, it's, you know, the game will never be magically limited in terms of you can't do this right now. You'll always be able to do it, but obviously we are trying to make, like I said, those starting cities should be safe as possible. It doesn't mean that you can't be attacked. There will be powerful guards, obviously, to make it as safe as possible, and then it would slowly graduate in terms of protection the further you walk away from these areas. There will be more guards, patrols, and guard outposts that are also described in the lore and will connect to lore and nation conflicts in an interesting way down the road. We're planning and preparing for that as well. So that means a new player can kind of adapt and learn that, okay, as long as I'm playing around here and near these outposts, etc., I may have a little bit more protection as well, but obviously there will always be the risk of encountering a murderer or so. And of course, at the same time, we try to promote interesting, exciting, meaningful PvP conflicts for those that love this and can go real deep at that and get a lot of that, rather than just going randomly killing new players. It doesn't do anyone good. Neither the new players or those veterans benefit from doing that. So obviously we try to add a lot of good content to promote that kind of game experience as well, so there's something for everyone to go deeper at those locations. So Kungen is streaming some Mortal content. That's cool. That's cool. Getting more awareness. That is awesome to see. A Swedish guy. He's Swedish, right? Kungen. Pretty large streamer indeed. Is he playing now, or is he just watching someone playing? Comparisons be safe-ish areas with NPC patrol guards, etc. Yeah, with TC you'll be able to construct specific buildings where you can hire guards, and you set the rules for those guards depending on what type of guard. So you will be able to build some kind of security in your city and set the rules there. Will enchanting weapons armor be a thing later? Yes, that is planned for. All towns receive dungeons such as Fab getting a new series. We plan to add some type of newbie dungeon experience nearby all starting location. It makes sense, and again it helps new players to, you know, if a player I wanna try a dungeon, then you should have a newbie dungeon nearby, so all have a fair similar chance to get into all of those different areas. And obviously the big things and exciting dungeons will be further out in no man's land and spread out over the world. There are plans for quest lines like in Model 1 for stuff that is currently only available in dungeon, like necromancer related spells and books. So we don't plan to add the traditional quests as you see in all theme park games. But like I mentioned before, we plan to expand on the task system, which allows you to work for the different nations and access different powers and ranks and access in different forms. And we're also expanding on more lore, information spread out, and some of those things will be, you know, possible to follow up through and explore and actually beat some of those. How do I say it? There may be things that you can discover, and so it could be like a quest or a journey where you know, solve something that was hinted at a location, and with the right means and keys or riddles solved, you may find a reward for that. So there will be different forms, but not the classic WoW quest in that term. But it will see a huge expansion on the task system, and that will greatly help all new players that are quite confused to what a true sandbox game is when they leaving Haven. And we're getting a lot casual and theme park MMO interested players coming from those games, and they're really looking forward to get into online. But it's a huge leap between Haven and Mirland, so we want to close that gap and get them into the game in a good way, and hopefully many more will stay and get, you know, obviously give the game a fair chance to see what uniqueness and depth this game has to offer that many other MMOs doesn't. With TC and Siege update eventually, will Necro have Siege type monster summons? I mean, you are able to create pretty much all huge creatures that in some way can be useful in a siege. But the effective way is to use our amazing siege machineries that we're designing and building right now. And those will be exciting, fun, and cool to play around with. They will be expensive and a challenge to use, but it's part of the cool sieging mechanics. If you want series to be noob friendly, you should add guards in certain spots down there. We have considered again to give the new players a simple first good dungeon experience in a somewhat protected environment. So we are considering different options to have patrolling specific guards that kind of keep players a little bit more on track. At the same time, it is very close to the city, obviously. So if you die as a new player, you don't get lost and you're not in the other side of the world. So it's quite easy to get back on your feet and also get a, you know, good taste of some player interaction or hostility that you can also learn and adapt to in a somewhat safe zone or area where you don't have to, you know, be lost in the world. So it's again, it's a tricky thing, this one. We wanna prepare the players and teach them that, look, that's part of the game. You shouldn't be crying when you die and lose your items. You should embrace it, get better, and adapt and move forward instead. And that's a new shock for a lot of players, but as soon as they get over that little tip, they find a whole new enjoyment in this game. So that's obviously what we want the players to experience and get at, you know. if it makes sense what I'm trying to explain here. We don't know yet how many players we cover. We have done huge optimization on the servers, and as I mentioned in the beginning of this stream, we are planning to do a very important stream next Thursday. So any of you guys that are tuning in late, I ask you guys to help us with a really cool thing. Next Thursday, I'm going to stream with Sebastian. Hopefully Sebastian will be able to spend some time on the stream as well, so we can have a chat with him. But he will be working with me on the side and actually sit on the server. We have profiling tools installed, and he will be monitoring everything in real time. So I asked the community to help us to get ready for huge, large-scale future sieging and TC battles. So we need your help to go to a location we pick at a certain time. Everyone gather there first. We can gather in 2 groups. If you want to do the Alliance War once again, that's fine. But gather is the first step. The next step is fight. We want total chaos again, where everyone is doing similar things as you did in the last big fight. And this time we were able to capture even more data with these new profiling tools, so we can fully solve the current bottleneck we have on the attacking packages. And this will hopefully allow us to cover those large-scale battles in upcoming sieges. So the next bottleneck should actually be the client performance, you know, as in frames per second, depending on your hardware, which we also will push further down the road, but it's not as critical as, you know, we want to make sure that the server handle all those different steps. So hopefully you guys will help us with this important event in the next stream. And jump in, say hello to Sebastian, and we will make a huge battle, is the plan. Hope you have enough data to fix Mana Reagan with these big fights. The last one around middle was brutal. Yeah, exactly. That's the one we want to reproduce. We got the data where things goes wrong, where things queue up. Now we have installed specific tools to see exactly how everything behaves, so we can do the right adjustment in those areas based on that event. Hopefully that is the plan. And you know, I know it can be a challenge because we need to get those 400 players in one location, but hopefully all the guilds out there will bring their guilds. If you don't want to risk losing anything, don't bring anything of value. You can even go there naked if you want to. You just need the data to cramp up on that specific node area. So yeah, please tell your guilds, alliances, and whatever. Bring them all. Our goal is to kill the performance on that node in live time when Sebastian is on the server. And that allows us to fix those issues. I'd gladly help with that if we can fix the Mana Reagan. I'm all in for that. What do you mean with the Mana Reagan? Have your Mana Reagan stopped working? What do you mean? Anuxa, explain. Will magic casting with a weapon in hand make it in anytime soon? That depends on the school, Jankum. We got like 300 ice and pets in one place and it was fine. Yeah, you know, everything works in a different way and have different costs on the different systems we have in the game. It's a extremely complicated game world we have created. And we have gone extremely far and pushing some of the boundaries in it world leading, I would claim. But obviously, players going there in different gears, different weapons, magic, range, pets, all of that. We want all of that in a real scenario where, like it would be like in a huge siege, for instance. So that's the goal with next Thursday's event. So hopefully many of you guys can help us and show up. All we need is like that brief moment when we meet and then we say fight, and hopefully we will get that total chaos as we got last time, because that's how we can solve it. You know, simulating and doing bots and scale up only gets us so far. Real case scenario gets the full picture. So that will be extremely helpful for making sure we have solid upcoming sieges in the future. Go in game and dominate trolls, please. I am not ready for that. I only have my current melee fighter still. Yeah, so we'll make the announcement regardless of the next week's event and plan that we hopefully can do this, so people can read it and hopefully prepare and be ready for that. That would be amazing and good for the game's future large-scale battles. And let's see if Sebastian have time to jump on a little bit. He may be too busy and just monitoring the server, but we should be able to have a fun evening with some chaos. And the goals are to actually almost kill the node where we choose to have this fight on. These optimizations are related to Unreal Engine, so performance tests will be done for Unreal 5 too. This is on the network side completely, so it will be the same thing either if we use Unreal 4 or 5. So this is why it's so vital for us. We want this to be covered so it's ready for Epic Game release and also for the upcoming TEC sieging, because we know there will be huge battles every now and then, and we want to make sure the network parts handle the attacking packages, obviously, because that's what's important when you have a fight, right? We have solved, as you noticed, the movement was working, you know, without any issues. But that was the odd part. You ran forward, enemies were running around, but no one was swinging when the swing attacks were queuing up. So that's the bottleneck we want to solve. And just scaling those, we should be able to cover a lot more players. So there's something that goes wrong in that case, and we need to identify what goes wrong to be able to fix it. Large is the world. It is 384 square kilometers, so it's a huge continent, and we plan to add 5 more over time in a similar scale, more or less. And they will all very different biome settings. One will be fully under the water, which is a sunken continent. One will be an extremely exotic jungle continent, a little bit like Avatar the movies. One will be like lava and ashes all over the world. It's the Herabalter, the home of the risers. Then of course we have Nordvelt, the cold continent. We have Sarika, the desert hot continent. So yeah, those will be coming over time. Will the armor glitch when blocking be fixed with this? What do you mean? Is that a new bug, or what do you refer to? I don't recognize that. Love this game, but every time I pick a character that might be viable, that era gets changed to no longer be a viable character. That's something we are very careful about not doing. So when it comes to gifts and clades and character stats, etc., we will never nerf them. We will always buff what's too crappy or never used. That's our method instead. So your build will not be completely changed. That's something we are really thriving to do at all time. On water as it only for divers. Yeah, so obviously we want a ship system when we enable this continent. So you sail there, and obviously the first mission is how the hell do you know what's under you, you know? So obviously you will be able to utilize the different underwater magic potions, even some mechanical devices to deep diving. Obviously it helps a lot if you have diving skills, swimming, and right gear for it. And eventually when you find that lost kingdom underwater, you will have a whole world under there to explore. There will be a lot of air gaps and things that you obviously can walk around down there as well. And there's a whole continent to swim and explore, so that's gonna be very cool. G Yosen, thank you for the prime. Appreciate it. Greetings. Auspicious about this patch. Yeah, so there's been a huge issue when it comes to the ghost scouting that have put the game in a very specific way where fights doesn't naturally happen how we intended them to happen. So eliminating that function, we can get natural strategic fights happening again, where you have to scout the right way, fight the right way, and obviously we try to make sure that we also give Spiritism some of the value. We buffed, the speed skill. We made it easier to fight in that realm. And obviously we need to look as well to see if there's anything else we can improve and add on. We are planning to add a lot of content when it comes to Spiritist hunting in that dimension. Mats have a list that is insane. It's just that it's going to take time to add this to the Etherworld. So the Etherworld is not fully finished in terms of all the content we plan to expand on. Just as we're expanding on a lot of things in the world, we're going to expand on the Etherworld as well. So the beaming in the Etherworld was almost impossible to hit each other's when you were moving. You couldn't expel someone moving. So we have worked on expanding on that to make it easier, so you more quickly start doing damage and you can aim easier on spirits. It's opening up earlier towns in Maryland, something on the roadmap, been waiting on Gal Barag for a decade. We will see how we cover that information wise. Yeah, Bounty Hunt is getting a few updates, improvements, and rewards as well. Again, it's part of the planning of the roadmap where that fits. Molvas when? Depends on if we are to get moving with one of our new animators. That may be the case. Then we may be able to put some of the mounts on these new developers. So it's still too early to say we are approving that step and if it's working. But we are progressing and testing, so we will see, hopefully. Yeah, we did struggle with the sizes on weapons. For instance, on a huge ass Thurstar holding a weapon, obviously it shrinks, right? Even the hands cover the handle quite a lot and it feels not as beasty. But if you put that same weapon on the hand on a small clade, it looks like a beast. And that's realistic and cool. We like that it doesn't magically change depending on whoever holds it, which it does in every other single game. We're trying to do it believable, and what you see is what you get. But yeah, with that said, it makes sense to add some component that maybe are, huge and beasty for a big Thurstar, while it may be ineffective for a small one to wield it, because you're gonna see it looks like a child is holding a huge weapon. It's not gonna be effective, but on a big one, it may fit and work. Same mechanic balance we're trying to do on all the mounts. So if you're a huge ass Thurstar and you're trying to mount a wolf, it looks like you're sitting on a small dog. It's not gonna run with you very effectively. But if you're a small Shivra, for instance, you're gonna run fast like the wind on one of those wolves. Same logic applies, right? And that's something we're aiming for and will most likely go for. We will on the mount side, and we will maybe on the weapons as well. Is next patch going to be Polish focused as well, or is it going to be moving into TC Stitching soon? TC Stitching we won't go in this next patch either. You will see it on the roadmap soon. There are huge systems tied to that. But you will see some interesting things starting to go into the patches soon as well. So next to polishing and bug fixes, you will start seeing some features and content as well that are, exciting for a lot of players. So again, maybe I will be able to finish the roadmap blocks the next week, depending on how the meeting goes tomorrow with Sebastian. We will see. It's a shame that wolves are slower than horses. Yeah, maybe the Kogers then, the Kogers are extremely fast. But yeah, again, we will do tweaks to a lot of the creatures along with Beast Mastery. And now when we're getting polished when it comes to movement following Beast Mastery, and obviously when we are being able to mount them. We may do tweaks then as well to make sure that there are interesting options. But yeah, obviously horses should be a common good ground for a easy, solid, fast transportation mount, and also work pretty good for mounted combat. So that's a good baseline. And then of course you get the Lycator options on top of that, and then multiple beasts, and then all of the creatures eventually. Yeah, you'll be able to. So eventually we add a wagon system as well that allows you to be a whole crew on a big wagon. So you will be able to be mountable players on a mount also eventually. Can you consider making horse spawns more spread out, but more of the horses? Yeah, we looked into that and we got a feedback that yes, maybe there are some areas that we could add a few horses as well to help a little bit when it comes to again, effectively get going, moving around when you lose your mount. So that helps. And obviously along with more creatures being mountable, that options gets a lot more wider along with those patches eventually. War elephants, yeah, that's doable as well for sure. Yes. That is doable as well with that system. So there's a few system now that allows you to connect to slots, but also walk on a wagon roof, for instance, when it's moving. So that's a specific system we are building for the wagon system. But that's also something that we same use for siege machineries and also eventually ships. So it's common features being reused that allows us to, take the step towards many of those features as well. So it's very exciting to start getting some of those steps finally and getting closer to getting a lot of cool features to the game. Different pets have different attacks with Beastmaster, or do all animals have the same attacks? No, so Beastmaster, first of all, it unlocks so the beast will be able to use a few different types of attacks, but the goal here is also that every family, species, will have a certain special ability, kind of the same way how we're going to do on the weapon groups. For instance, the sword is going to get a bleeding slice cut, so you can apply bleeding damage. The axe will do a cleave attack. Same thing you'll be able to learn and command your pet to do. For instance, the cat, the cougar, the cat family. So all the cats will allow you to have a certain ability to call a command. And if you are in the correct radius and you are performing the right command or aiming in the right parts on your enemy, that cat will perform a flying slice or whatever that may be. And that is unique to the cat family. Same thing will be applied to the wolf family, for instance, the dog family, canine, which means they will be like, do a lock on the foot, for instance, or on the neck. So it goes there and bites down and won't let go. So it may slow you down or, damage over time until you have knocked it out of its grip. So all families and species will have one of those special command. And this is something obviously we can expand on over time as well. But we're trying to get one for each family that, obviously time is a matter as well. And we will try to take as many as we can over time. So that is also our way of expanding on Beast Mastery in an interesting way. So almost like you would performing one of those strikes or casting a specific spell with the right rules, and you need to time them. There's a cooldown, It's part of player skills and balance, and that's what makes it exciting to finally make use of beasts and pets in a way where you actually have to be good and use those reading skills and perform the right things, rather than just say attack and then stand there looking. We want to step away from that. If you say attack and stand there looking, it's gonna perform okay, but it won't be, you know, effective. But as soon as you start performing these different attacks and behaving, playing with your pets for real, that's when it should be more effective. If you do nothing or miss these opportunities or miss one of those commands, it will backfire as it becomes worse instead and confused or scared. So I think that's a very exciting way of balancing pets users. It's going to be fun for them, and obviously it's going to be a good player skill involved that balance that much better than we had in the past. Pet classes should be for PvE. No, just like I said, Kenny, I just explained very detailed how this will be fun and exciting and balanced for PvP, because this is just like using your weapon or your spells, you know, but you use them in a different way with great risk, because if you perform wrong, you're going to get punished for it instead. So we are applying player skills in this really huge option to fight both in PvP or PvE. Pets Online too. No, it's like I'm talking to a wall, Gamble. Come on, man. Yes, manual skills. Like I said, we'll learn a ton from the first game, and I wasn't happy with the pet function, you know, attack and stand behind it and run away. That's not the vision for it, but we couldn't do more with the system we had back then. This time we can. It's going to be exciting, it's going to be a challenge, and it's going to be skillful to perform well with your pets when we enable Beast Mastery. That is the goal and vision with it. Obviously, Beastmaster, all the skills involved with Influence and Beastmaster will be finished with that patch to make sure that it's balanced, it's a challenge, but it can be rewarding if done correct. Try came in late. I like your approach to it, much better than other MMOs. Yeah, like I said, it also fits more what Mortal Online is. You know, we always said everywhere that Mortal Online is supposed to be player skills and knowledge is the king in our game, not automated pets. So, for sure, if you have, you know, a very bad computer or bad connection, whatever it may be, of course you can always choose mechanics that favors that style a little bit. But we always want to demand some player skills, reading, and knowledge to be successful in this game. That's a huge goal or you know, requirement we're really trying to push into the game. Why Sewer at Faberm, not in Morncur? Next patch we're getting Morncur sewers. Not we have a smaller patch first, and then we have the next one. And I think that's the one we plan to have the MK sewers. So we're getting there. We're getting there. And, you know, we're getting a lot more dungeons over time. So, yes. So again, I hope that most of you guys can participate in the next stream's events. I'm gonna bring in Sebastian here. We're gonna do a fun little event in-game where we meet up, and hopefully we can bring 400 people that are interested in participating and helping us with that goal. Because that's gonna be golden for us to make sure we have future sieges network performance in place. So that's an important milestone for us. Yeah. We don't need more sewers. Maybe add something for Malikas. There's been nothing on that front. So obviously we need to consider we're getting influx of new players over time, especially when we had a release on Epic Game, move over to Unreal 5, getting TC. We are starting to marketing game. We're not marketing the game at all. We're gonna do a shit ton to make awareness of the game. That means we're gonna get a lot of new players, and if they are lost and have no content and are clueless, they're gonna stop playing the game again, you know, or many of them at least. And that's bad for our growth, and it's bad for us that love this game. We all want a growing player population base, right? Because that's what makes the game even more interesting. So obviously we need to consider what a new player needs, and also what we veteran needs for the long term, which obviously is mostly, you know, we all know we have TC and Sieging, for instance, that taps into that, but we also have other things. So sewers is actually important. We have analyzed all new players when they start from Haven, when they go to Milan, and when many of them drops off, and for what reasons. Those reasons we're working on to make sure we minimize those drops off, and as you can understand, that's great for the game. Is there still a sub fee? We haven't enabled any sub fees at all. We plan to enable it when we reached our certain milestones in the future, and we will announce when we have reached those milestones. So not yet. You will be able to play for free until we announce that part. And we're going to introduce a PvE continent. PvE continent? I mean, all continents will have PvE, pretty much equal. We're adding PvE content every patch. This one got a lot of it. A lot of points of interest with a lot of stuff, and we got the sewers. And we're adding that in every single patch. Weapon abilities anytime soon. So that's the special attacks per each weapon group that I mentioned. You will see it eventually on the roadmap. I don't have the exact time frame yet. Tomorrow I have hopefully one of the last meeting with Sebastian when it comes to iron out the order of all those. And that will also help us to put the roadmap on the website, finally. Did I haven't get Series 2? Hey, no, it haven't got the Fab Series, but we have other content we work on there to polish and give more depth. We have a specific Haven dungeon there. So we don't plan to have the same sewer. That's in the real world, right? On Midland. But we have a Haven dungeon cave that we're expanding on Haven. Are things like Beastmaster additional mounts going to be in roadmap? Yeah, Beastmaster is additional mounts is completely so that's the thing. Code-wise and feature-wise, the mounts and gear are finished. We have insane, really good dynamic system, and it's finished. We're super happy with that. The only bottleneck that holds us back from adding more of that content is animation manpower. We lack animation manpower, and that's what I'm working on now, heavily trying to solve. And right now I'm holding, crossing my fingers that there's a few people I'm talking to, including a company that may be able to help us here, and that means we can add that on the upcoming roadmap. So that's what I'm really hoping for. Can confirm if Expanders got 2 tame now. Thank you, the best Henrik. Thank you, Jess. And yeah, the devs have been killing it. Cocker Pets, let's go. Woot, that's great news. We ever see flying mounts? Short answer is yes. The elaborated answer is it won't be the traditional mount that anyone can just pick up and fly around in the world. So it will be very limited, very specific, and it will be a while until we reach that point because of the limitation of how many can participate. That's also a determined factor of what is highly prioritized in this time of the development, if that makes sense. Secret turn into water mount when? Whenever we reach the underwater content, ships, and we have a lot of content to support that, then we can also enable water mounts. So it will be a while until we are there. But we will get there over the years. Obviously, the more support we get, everything is moving in the right direction, the faster we can start reaching those long-term features as well eventually. What is one feature you can't wait for? Or it's in what's your favorite? The man in the bush. It's a difficult question. I get it every now and then, and it's so hard to pick one favorite feature in this game. Obviously there's really cool features on further down the road I'm very much looking forward to. And one that have been growing on me, and also in the community, which is the ship system. Not only will you be able to construct the most epic, cool systems, you have really cool mechanics behind them. It will be like a mobile home and base. It will have very cool specific siege weapons that you can use on them, and a lot of cool mechanics how you can be a water world with have you seen water world when they use these specific sails to kind of get a boost, and cool mechanics that we want to include on our ship systems. Make sure you can pull up your guild banner up top there as well, or even put them on your sails. We have a lot of cool function we want to add on our ship system, and also how you actually sail with real player skills again. Those things that are deep and unique for a game for like Mortal Online. So that's a cool feature I'm really much looking forward to. That's why I really want to get going with the wagon system. That is kind of the first requirement steps to get closer to those features. So that's one that is growing on me, and I've noticed that there's a huge player base that are also waiting for that. And I mentioned that before. There are some huge players in Sea of Thieves that loves Mortal Online. They tried it during the stress test, and they said when they hear they're going to be an advanced ship system in Mortal Online, they said, page us when it's there, then we are coming from Mortal Online 2 instead. So there's a whole audience there as well. So that's a big one for sure. And then, just like many of you guys, obviously TC and Sieging going to be a really cool addition to the game and highly improved this time around. So I'm looking forward to that as well. And a lot of some of the small things like socializing, sitting at the bar, at the tavern, playing some games with the community, smoking the pipes, FOIPing, and even VR. It's going to be a cool experience as well, and a unique experience. So everything from smaller to larger features like that is some of those that I'm very much looking forward to as well. And of course, it's going to be cool to see all the variation with the guild emblems, logos, flags. When you see, holy shit, that guild, and you start to recognize the colors and their emblems, the different mounts people are riding on, all crazy builds. It's going to be cool to see all the variation and additional options to just make the game feel more unique and exciting in different ways. So there's a lot of cool things that I'm very much looking forward to. And yeah, eventually we will add more designs on houses that is clade inspired, Luco. Again, I don't know what the time frame of this, but we are prepared to support the biome attributes and also different clade inspired. So that's gonna be a production on that as well. Mortal Line 2 will be indeed sick 2025. I mean, every year the game will grow insanely. Now when we have a very effective, stable pipeline in place and slowly growing the team, it's just getting better and better and more awesome and awesome. And we're finally, we're reaching further and further into finally getting rid of those nasty bugs and annoyances, so we can get focused more and more on features and content again as well. So it's going to be very exciting for sure. So some of those big creatures like a troll, Nitro Queen, there are certain ways when it comes to controlling some of those creatures. It is doable, but sometimes you need tools to make it happen. So, and all of that is obviously not in the game yet, but you will see over time there will be more and more tools that allows you to gain certain access of more creatures. That's also obviously part of the balance. Yeah, so all animals will be able to follow you soon or see you in water, and then eventually also we will need more time to add a swimming state on creature that makes sense where they can swim, but it also requires quite a bit of coding time. So again, it's a struggle to prioritize order, but sooner or later we need to make that happen, obviously. And armor weapon variety to make players look unique, or guild tabards. Yeah. I just mentioned that. We will have tabards and guild emblems that you can design and dye in any color that you come up with, that you make in our dye system. So that you'll be able to put those banners on your flags and on your gear and on your houses and in guilds and cities. Did you accept traineeship for a month as programmer? So right now we're quite careful when it comes to taking traineeship or internship, stuff like that, because it requires a lot of time for us for that to be, useful for either of the parties. And right now we are quite occupied, heavily busy with some very important milestones. So it's very difficult for us to invest in more developers that are quite new to what we are doing. We need to make that investment for the long run, but we are mainly looking for seniors that have a lot of experience already, so they can quite easily, get going on themselves with just some support by some of our veteran developers. So right now, that is how it looks, at least. And I'm hitting my 3-hour mark, ladies and gentlemen, and I was thinking to keep it at that range today. Hello Henrik, the 5 new continents you speak of, will they be different region servers? That is something that we're still elaborating with. That is a high possibility that we choose to place them on different regions in the world, yes. We are working on a plan B, because no one knows how it's gonna look when we release on Epic Games, starting marketing, Unreal 5. Things can easily get out of control quickly, and we can't fail this time around. We need to have a plan B or even plan C to make sure we are on track, we control it, and new players that want to play the game can play the game in a good experience. So we are already working on that plan B that involves the server setup and how we can maintain that. So we're still going through that. So yeah, I think this will be the cue for me to end today's stream. But yeah, I want to remind everyone again, we're gonna make a little announcement on our website for next stream. Hopefully you guys can help us. The hit system is already enabled and in the game, but it's set to not affect you know, the normal heat cold spectrum, which is Midland. That's why you're not affected. All other continents will have greater effect on that. So Midland's meant to be the middle ground, no extreme. We accidentally have it enabled, and that's when people complain, why are we draining so much stamina? We couldn't figure out why, and then we found it. The heat system was cranked up. So we fixed it, and yeah, that it's ready already for the upcoming continents. All right, guys, this is it for me today. I hit the 3-hour mark. I'm gonna try to keep it there. So thank you very much for participating in today's stream and all of your questions, your donations, subscriptions, and all of that. Really appreciate it. And hopefully, like I said, we will announce some things on the website for next week's stream, and that's going to be very exciting to see if we can get that crank going with a high population in one location. So I will be doing a raid as usual. Do you have any suggestions that you want to look at now when I leave? I came late to the stream. Rob Base, you can always check the timestamped summarized video that usually comes up the day after or so if there's something you want to glance through. Please add remote easier function. Yeah, that's part of some of the quality of life we wanna do. So for sure. Love you, Henrik. My condolences to Almos's friends and family. Yeah, thank you very much. We appreciate it. Indeed, very sad when that happened. Look forward to this every week. That is awesome to hear. Like I said, I would keep trying to do these streams and do them as interesting as possible. We're slowly moving into a very exciting period of time, which allows me to show Unreal 5, TEC mechanics, CG mechanics. I think that's going to be a blast. And we're getting closer to have something worthy to show. So it's not too rough. Let's see. Who do we have streaming today? We have Kungen, a new streamer, Swedish guy. Have quite a lot of viewers. Shall we... is he worthy a raid, you think? Or what do you think? Kungen is about to go offline. Are we missing it then? Yeah, if he's about to get offline, then maybe it's not worth it, I guess. Who else then? Who do we got? Let's see. Do we have any suggestion here, or do I need to do the common poll? What do you say, guys? Help me out. Anthony, Avera TV, Skrilly. You want fish? Yeah, I tried to cycle, so yeah, I have cycled all of those, right? So yeah, that's the question. Do you want to do another fishing stream? Bruce Lee, Rob, was he streaming? I didn't see him. Let's see. Yeah, he's streaming. Bruce is an option, I guess. I think it was a long time ago I raided him. Let's do a quick poll, guys. I'm exhausted. Let's go. A quick vote, guys. Your call today. Vote, and we make it happen. Bruce Lee in the lead. Avira second. Bruce Lee pulling a little bit. Henrik, is the game still subscription based? Because me and my friend really want to play the game, but not everyone is cool with subscription part of it. It is not enabled and it won't be for a good while. We will announce on the website when that is time. And there's also very, very, very good reasons for the subscription model. And I think that if you think this is a game that should be growing and be better and, you know, be on the market, because there's almost nothing else because of a few very specific reasons, then we ask everyone to consider the pros with a subscription-based model compared to a free-to-play, microtransaction, pay-to-win, locked crap content, all of that. And it's actually cheaper if you want to be on a competitive level compared to those so-called free-to-play games. That's the short, quick answer version of that. But yeah, for now, it will be free without subscription until we reach a very certain milestone, and we will announce that ahead of time when that is planning to be done. But I joined the giveaway. It has already been done, so tune in the next stream on Thursday, Mugsy Slugs, and you will have a new shot at a new giveaway. Will it be like Modern 1, non-sub limit skill? No, not initially. That's not what we plan to do. We are looking to make the Havens eventually completely free to try out, so you can play there. But when you want to commit to the game and go into the Milan continent, etc., that's when you need to be on board. Sub keeps the trolls out. That too. That too. Will there be a wipe in the future? No, we will only wipe bad things, cheaters, and crap that shouldn't be in the game. Alright, we have a winner. And what the hell did it go? Where the hell did I miss the... Who won? Where did it go? The vote thingy. Ah, there. Okay, let's see. Bruce it is, guys. Bruce it is. I feel like voting for Vibe pre-Epic Games launch isn't the worst idea ever. I mean, there is a small group that want it, and we understand why. But when we explain that there's no reason for it, because the reason they want the Vibe, we're already dealing with. So there's no reason anymore. And we're also getting new currency, material, and things in the game that are already not owned by any player. So it doesn't make sense to wipe. And the 90% that would be very upset and a huge portion will leave the game, it's going to be very bad for the game. So yeah, consider those points as well. All right. Again, thank you very much, guys. I will be doing a little raid here to Bruce Lee. All right. Again, thank you all, guys, for tuning in. I hope to see you next Thursday. And have a good night. Goodbye, everyone. All right. Bye-bye.